This morning I'm back up at Drance Lake, just for a few minutes though, because I'm going to head off into the bush. I had so many comments the other day about if I run into any wildlife when I'm out on my walks. And the answer to that is, yeah. Quite often I'll run into, of course, deer and your squirrels and stuff like that. But in the last 4 months, I've come across 2 bears. And when I was up here filming in the snow the other day, there were bear tracks. So I thought maybe we'll do a little safety video today on the basics you should have with you when you wander off into the woods. A lot of people have decided that watching my videos, that's something that they're thinking of doing now. So I have a few tips for you. First of all, I went shopping. Yeah, I bought bear spray. I know what some of you are thinking. It's winter time. The bears are sleeping. Well, that's true. Except I was doing some Google searches there, and some scientists are saying in the Pacific Northwest now of global warming that the hibernation is changing for a lot of the black bears. And black bears are really prominent on Vancouver Island. Actually, the world's largest concentration of black bears are on Vancouver Island. They say that there's over 7,000 of them on this island. And the island's only 365 miles long and maybe 64 miles wide in the widest section. So it's a pretty good concentration. So they were saying now that a lot of the bears are waking up early, because we've had some temperatures that were 10 degrees, 50 Fahrenheit in January. And I think that's what sparked it. Twice now this winter, I found bear tracks. So I did purchase bear spray and I'm wearing it. But the good news is, it works on cougars too. And I'm more likely, especially on a day like today, to run into a cougar than a bear. Because hopefully the bears have gone back in and went back to sleep. Interesting fact about bears. When they're hibernating, you know that their heartbeat can slow down to 10 beats per minute. Well, I guess if you're going to sleep for, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, comes in handy. I wish I could sleep for 5 hours. All right. Well, I'm getting into a bush up and behind Drance Lake here. I'm starting to climb up. I've climbed up a little ways. And a little tip to have, you should always have a first aid kit with you. Check. And bear protection, check. I got that. And if you're carrying food, if you're going to be out for a while and carrying a food, good idea to put it in a plastic container. Keep the smells in there. And sorry, lost my train of thought. Happens all the time. The other thing is, it's like if you're going to come out, take a cheese sandwich or something like that, or peanut butter sandwich, or something that are not going to attract the bears as much when you're eating it. I wouldn't sit down and eat a tuna fish sandwich or a salmon sandwich in bear country. Talking about seeing wildlife, just looking back at the lake, there's an otter out there swimming around. I just wanted to check out this trail. Actually, someone else who was watching the channel the other day said, have you ever been to the cave up there at Drance Lake? And I said, I didn't know there was one. So he sent me a map. So basically I'm following that trail right now. And I was just going to see if I could spot it. But if I don't, or even if I do, I'm not going to go down there. because it is hibernation time, and apparently bears like caves. So, you know, that's the other thing is you don't purposely go out and look for them. No, if you come across one, you should know what to do. We'll get into that in a minute. I think this is where the cave is down here. There's a ravine, and apparently there's a cave down in the ravine here. Let's have a look. I believe that's the ravine there that the cave's in. So, yeah, go a little closer and see what we can see. Whoa, steep. Good idea to keep making noise when you're out here too. Oh, I forgot my whistle. Oh well, I usually have my whistle with me. But there's supposed to be a cave around here somewhere, but I'm not going to climb down into the ravine. I'll go up here a little ways. Have a look. I have been up this way before, but not looking for anything in particular. I love how these trees grow out of these stumps. Oh, I saw something moving up there. It's a person. Okay, that's good. Does look like there could be a cave around here somewhere. I'll have to research that out. It's fairly steep here. I think I'll circle back to the other trail, go up from there. Well, that was a steep hill I went up, so I had to slow down and catch my breath, but I've made it up to a plateau here. Back to being bear aware. Yeah, so you can run into them anytime. I mean, like, more likely in the summertime, of course. That's, this time of year, it's very safe to go out and not worry about the bears. But the bad news is, cougars don't hibernate. They're active all year round. And this time of year, that would be my main concern. Even though that they say there's only 700 to 800 cougars on this island, a large bunch of them live in this about 16-kilometer area. So you have a better chance of a cougar seeing you when you're out on a walk than a bear, especially right now. It could have already happened. But bear spray works on cougars too. They don't advertise it because they're selling it for the bear people, and they have special spray for the cougars. And I think it's probably exactly the same thing, because if you have eyeballs and a nose, this stuff's going to slow you down. All right, where does this go? It's just beautiful up in here, quiet. So when you're wandering through the woods, there's a very good chance that a bear could be using the same trail you are using. As, they go through the bush too, but just like anything else, they'll take the easiest route. Where a cougar, they're usually in the bush, so they're a little bit harder to detect. But I assure you that they're not interested in you. But if you are walking with a dog, it's a really good idea to keep them on a leash. For bears or cougars. Especially for bears, actually, because if your dog takes off after a bear, a cougar's quite like a bear's quite like a cat. Well, cougars are too, but if you're playing with a cat and you have a feather on a string and you stop and it stops, then you quickly pull it away. It's just instinct to chase it. So if you have a dog with you and you give it a return command and he turns around and turns right away and runs back, good chance he's going to bring the bear with you. And you don't want to spray your dog, so keep him on a leash. And just keep your wits about you and don't get too comfortable in the bush, especially if you're by yourself. If you're with a group, you're usually making enough noise that you're never going to see anything because they can hear you coming. Good idea to wear bear bells too. I've seen quite a few people in Todd Park wearing bear bells, especially in the summertime, or if there's a bear alert out. We do get bear alerts around here. So if you are out by yourself and you do come across a bear and you see it, it doesn't see you, just slowly back away and don't try to confront it. Don't try to get close to get pictures of it, because that might not work out so well. If you startle a bear and he's staring at you and he starts coming towards you, just talk to him, make yourself look as big as you can. And if you're for a group of people, get the group together and make noise, clap your hands and everything else. Make them sure that there's a group with you. So he might decide that's not worth the trouble to investigate and just wander off. But if you are by yourself or with a group of people, it's good to have your bear spray ready to go. And don't use it unless you have to, but this one's good to about 30 feet. For $20 less, I could get one that was good around 15 to 20 feet. So for the extra 20 bucks, I want that extra little bit of distance. So I got this one here. You can buy it at Canadian Tire, like 64 bucks. And it's well worth having. You only get to use it once, so once it only lasts for about 8 seconds. But I assure you, if you go on YouTube and watch some of the videos where people have had to use these against bears, black bears and grizzly bears, they're gone. I mean, like, this gives you a 95% chance if someone's attacking you that it's going to go away. So it's actually a higher percentage of people using bear spray over a gun. Confrontation can happen so fast that by the time you get your gun out, pointed and everything else, it's usually over. But if you have seen the bear, you've got your bear spray ready to go, they're gone if you give them a little snortful. And try not to get on yourself either. There's a wind blowing. I mean, like after you've discharged it, back up a little bit. Don't run, just back up. Just make sure you don't get caught in that spray. The last thing you want to do is blind yourself if you're having any problems with animals. Well, this is nice up here. I guess I'll carry on and see what else we can see. I hope I haven't scared you. I'll give you a statistic that you might like. You have 1 in 1 or 2.1 million chance of being attacked by a black bear. In Ontario, in the last 100 years, 4 people have been killed by black bears. So, it's very, very, very uncommon. But you don't want to be the 5th one. So you still have to be bear aware. But get out here and enjoy these places. I'm just heading back down towards the lake now, mainly because that one hill really wore me out. And you don't have to go hiking. A walk is just fine. Like I said, the Drance Lake walk is just perfect for people that just want to get out and get some fresh air and see some beautiful scenery. It's very, very easy to do. And I'm just heading back that way now. Hopefully that otter's still there. Wouldn't mind watching him for a little while. There's nothing like seeing the wildlife in these beautiful parks. All right, I'm gonna just make out the lake down here now, so I get out of bear country. Well, I'm almost back in the parking lot. So remember, I'm no bear expert. I mean, research it for yourself. I'm just trying to give you some points that I'm learning and using. And another statistic you might like, there is a greater chance that you could be killed by a bee than a black bear. I'm out of here.